What is going on, y'all? Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Here in today's video, I will be discussing what happened to five-star guard Noah Farrakhan, who's actually still playing college basketball right now, and he's currently in the transfer portal. So we'll talk about that later. But before I start this video, I wanted to say I'm a huge fan of Noah Farrakhan, and I think he's going to be a really good guard still in college basketball. And I just think he needs opportunity, which some people have been saying while he was at IMG, which is where most people know him from. He wasn't really doing as much as his teammates were, and the reason he was so good is because of his teammates. But I just think that's wrong, and I think he's a certified bucket. And wherever he goes next, I think he's going to stand out. He just needs to get some more opportunity. So to start off, he began his career at St. Benedict's Prep, which is in Newark, New Jersey, which is his hometown. He won two NJISAA state championships there for New Jersey, which is really impressive as a freshman and a sophomore to win that. After that, transferred to IMG Academy. So, clearly, IMG knew he was a good player if they were going to recruit him from there to then play on their national team. So he played 2 years on IMG's national team. And that's where he really made a name for himself, and all basketball fans learned about him. He actually helped lead them to a victory in the 2019 Geico High School National Championship, which is so impressive. That's basically the best team in the country. It's all the good teams around the country competing for that championship. And he was on the team that won it, and he was actually the starting point guard for the team that won it, which is incredible. He played with guys like Armando Bacot, who was at North Carolina last year, probably is going to go to the NBA this year. Jeremiah Robinson Earl, who was at Villanova last year, is probably going to go to the NBA this year. Jarris Walker, who's still a five-star in high school and is one of the best players in the class of 2022. Josh Green, who's currently in the NBA, went to Arizona, was a five-star there. And Jaden Springer, who was a five-star and went to Tennessee and now will probably be an NBA draft pick this year. So there were some really, really good guys on that team. And for him to be the starting point guard of that team should tell people, anybody who's doubting him, what he can do and how good he is. In that run to win the Geico championship, they beat some very good teams. They beat Sunrise Christian in the quarterfinals, and that team's pretty stacked as well. They're not as good as IMG was, but they had guys like Liam Robbins, who most people probably know him from playing in the Big Ten. He was a really good big man in the Big Ten, but they had a lot of good guards too, a couple good guards. One that went to Ole Miss. They had a bunch of guys who played D1, but they took down them in the quarterfinals, and then in the semifinals, they beat Montverde Academy, who everybody knows who Montverde Academy is, who follows high school and college basketball. He actually played against Cade Cunningham in that, who's now going to be the number one pick in the NBA draft this year. But every year, Montverde produces at least like 5 or 6 top D1 players, and sometimes even more, like off the top of my head, Ben Simmons, D'Angelo Russell, RJ Barrett, all those guys went there and are now doing well in the NBA, which is quite impressive. And then after beating them in the semifinals, they played La Lumiere in the championship. And La Lumiere is another program that's produced a lot of good players. They're a powerhouse from Indiana. But Isaiah Stewart, who's now in the NBA, forward for the Pistons, actually played there and played against him in that tournament. So he beat a lot of good guys with that team, was the starting point guard, like I said, for that team. So that's when he was a five-star. Everybody knew him. He was getting offers from everywhere and really just standing out. And then as a senior, decided to transfer to the Patrick School, where he played his final year of prep basketball with Jonathan Kuminga, who most high school and college basketball fans know now, played for the G League Ignite this year after deciding to reclass ahead a year, and instead of going to college, decided to play in the G League and played really well there against top basketball players, professional basketball players in the country. Some like really good players who played in the NBA and get moved back and forth. There were a lot of really good players he played against in that, and he showed well for himself. So that's pretty impressive. But like I said, yeah, he played with him there. He only averaged 7.1 points, which is a big reason his stock went down. A lot of people started kind of doubting him, which still, to me, like I said, does not make any sense. I'm a huge fan of his, like I said, and I think he's going to be really good. And in that year, he only averaged 7.1 points. It's just something wasn't clicking. He wasn't the same as he was at IMG. I saw him do a lot more at IMG than he really did at the Patrick School. So I knew there was still more left in the tank. But after that season, he committed to East Carolina in April. So right after the season, his high school season finished, he committed to East Carolina. And he chose those schools over schools like Penn State, Seton Hall, Virginia, St. John's, which all the schools that he took visits to, and ended up deciding on going to East Carolina, which surprised me a little bit because I was expecting him to go to a little bit bigger of a school. I think he could have done really well in any Power 5 school. And at East Carolina, it just seemed like they didn't give him opportunity. He only averaged 3 points, 0.9 rebounds, and 1 assist per game while only playing in 12 games. So to me, that kind of frustrated me. Just like I said, being a fan of his, not seeing him get as much play time at a school that plays in the American conference, which American Athletic Conference, which is it's a good conference. It's just I think he could have been one of the best guards in that conference as a freshman and was really just never given opportunity. I don't know what goes on in practice there, and I don't know any of that stuff. But like I said, I just think he deserved more opportunity there to kind of show himself. And then as soon as their season finished, he entered the transfer portal alongside 5 of his other teammates. So he wasn't the only one from that school to go into the transfer portal. Now, for where he will end up transferring to, I really do not know yet. For most guys who enter the transfer portal, we see a list of schools that have reached out and that the kids are talking to. But for Noah Farrakhan, I have not seen one yet. For my guess, I think I could see him at a school like St. John's, DePaul, Penn State, Seton Hall, a school like that, which is somewhat close to home for him. And, he really could play well there and get more of an opportunity. I think all those schools are actually better than East Carolina, but still, I just don't really get why he didn't get an opportunity at East Carolina. But like I said, I wasn't at practice, so I don't really know what went on there. But in an article for Zag's blog, which is a really good website, I'll add that in the description. Farrakhan did an interview after announcing he would be entering the transfer portal. And he said he's looking for an opportunity nonetheless. He's looking for a winning program or a school building towards that direction. He wants a great organization overall from the staff all the way down to the players and a great support system life after college. He also said he was looking for an up-tempo, fast-paced offense where he can run in transition. So, no, that is kind of what we saw him do at IMG, get rebounds, go to the bucket, finish above the rim. With his athleticism, he's a great passer. He's really a just true point guard with a ton of athleticism, and that's why I think wherever he goes next, he could be a great guard there. We've seen him play defense before, and that's another reason I think St. John's is a school that he could end up at. St. John's, with their new coach, has really turned into a big-time defensive program, press most of the game, throw a lot of different stuff at people, and it really catches them off guard. DePaul is another program that is really stacking up just like St. John's is. They weren't very good for many years, and over the years, they've been getting better. DePaul hasn't really gotten better, but a guy like Noah Farrakhan, if he could play like he did at IMG, when he gets there, could change that program. I know they'd be looking for guys like him because, he really could sprout there. Like I said, Penn State lost a few guys in the transfer portal, and that's why I think he could end up at a school like Penn State, who recruited him pretty hard coming out of high school. And then Seton Hall is just a school that it seems like they always get good guys in the transfer portal. And they're another school that's lost some guys in the transfer portal. But to be exact, Bryce Aiken last year from Harvard, didn't really have too good of a year at Seton Hall, but I could see Noah Farrakhan filling a role like Aiken did at the point guard position. And, if he could stay healthy, could be a starting point guard for them throughout most of the year. So, like I said, basically my point for this whole video, I still think he is a great guard, and I still think he deserves a good opportunity because I think he'll take advantage of the opportunity. I saw people on social media, TikTok, Twitter, a lot of apps, kind of bashing him and saying he decided to go to East Carolina because that would be easier competition for him, and it didn't work out for him there because he's just not as good. That's just completely false in my opinion. East Carolina's an American athletic school. You know, they're not maybe as good as these schools, but they're still playing against good teams. So it kind of confuses me why someone would say that. You know, they play against schools like Memphis, which is a top 25 school to start the year most years, especially with Penny Hardaway since he's been there. So like I said, I don't really get that. It wouldn't make any sense for them to say he'd go to East Carolina to play down the competition. I think if it was the case of him going to a school like that, it would be a small school where he could really, really stand out. It wouldn't be East Carolina. So that narrative is just not very smart, and I just fully disagree with it. But like I said, I think he's a really good guard, and I just think he deserves more of an opportunity. And hopefully, after he makes his decision, which could be in the next few weeks, next months, I don't really know. But hopefully we can see him get way more opportunity, and hopefully he's playing at a Power 5 school so he can kind of get more of a notice on his name like it was at IMG. So that is it for this video. I really appreciate you guys watching. I mean, I told you in previous videos I'm going to start dropping a lot more videos, and I haven't. But now, definitely with school over, I will be dropping way more videos. I'll be doing a lot of videos like this, like going over some guys who were big names in high school and really fell off. So I'll be doing some more videos like this, and I'll also be doing some live sports talking and just giving my opinions on sports as it goes through. So if you enjoyed this video, please leave a like, comment your thoughts, what your guys' thoughts are on Noah Farrakhan, where you guys think he'll go, or any of that. And if you like my account, please, I would really appreciate a subscription. Thank you guys very much, and hopefully you guys tune in to the next video.